Hi there. Well, some sort of dam seems to have broken. Whatever was the limiting factor or holding back on the journals as they started to flow again. So I figure I better get in here and record some. They're piling up. All right, so this is one of the first ones from this month, August, 8/4. And the Mayan day was 9 Cimi, which is death or transmutation. And, considering the title it wound up with, I guess that fits. Well, at least I did another live journal today. It's been quite a while. Just haven't been feeling comfortable enough with myself. Strange, huh? Well, it is for me anyway. Normally, my natural state of joy carries me no matter what comes. Somehow, lately though, I've been feeling bereft. Another unusual thing for me. Well, that's okay. I'm not for getting stuck in any kind of a rut, such as thinking I know myself. Yeah, right. Not even. No one does, as far as I know. No one currently incarnate, anyway. And I suppose there are some. There have to be masters tucked away here and there. We just get used to thinking we know the self, which sets us up for getting the rug pulled out from under us. Oh, well, it just is what it is. And actually, you want that rug to be pulled out from under you when you're believing that you're the false self, that you're the persona, the avatar. I'm largely protected due to not being attached to much of anything. I've found it's our attachments that cut into us the most, that create the most pain when things change, which they inevitably do. Being attached to anything 3D at all, to that extent, we're rigid and unyielding, unwilling to welcome whatever change may be knocking at the door. So I welcome this too, even though it's not any fun. This whole section of my life will play a lot better in hindsight than it's playing right now. Now, I don't mean to be whining, friends. Really, I don't. So let's just call it being real. What I said before still goes, though. Don't ever feel sorry for me. I don't welcome that. I love your moral support, and I know a lot of your hearts are really close to me, but I don't care at all for sympathy. Okay, let's see if that's done. The energies that come our way won't always be pleasing. I'm being much better, though, at welcoming even the dark stuff. Hey, it's got a right to be, too, and a blessing to bring. Even though what is remains to be seen, even though what that blessing is remains to be seen, that doesn't matter. The big punch is packed by just knowing that everything brings blessing, one way or another. Holding that attitude, well, it just helps. Sometimes we'll be up and sometimes down, but we're all together in this, and that's totally wonderful. Our unity is so critical. For so long now, we've believed in separation, that we were all separate, distinct individuals, related only to those in our family. Turns out that's not the case, and enough of us are onto that to really give us all a general lift, one that we can rely on in those down times we all have. No one in 3D is perfect, friends. No one. Don't expect to be. Even when we have a good long run at being up and positive and joy-filled and all of that, don't expect it to last forever. Stick to your now. Stay out of the future. No expectations is the best way to navigate life, the way I see it. No expectations at all for any sort of future. And it's tricky. We don't need to have future expectations since we're already all that we are. Already one, already whole, and we're already in our future just as much as we're in our past. We're everywhere. There's nowhere that we're not. What seems to be that which is playing out on the surface of things, well, sometimes we forget it's all just a play. I call it the grand drama, in which we all have our chosen parts to play, our scripts. Now that doesn't quite cover it all, since we're very much involved as script writers too, making edits on the fly. By the beliefs we adopt, we create what's happening now. That's why when whatever is happening isn't feeling just right, it's time to look into our own personal beliefs. Let our finger pointing always be at self. It's such a good idea to self-observe with an eye to what could be behind or beneath any current situation. If, or rather when, we do this from heart, or while meditating or centered in whatever way is our choice, then we're tied into intuition central. We will be shown what we need to see and given all necessary knowledge. When you inquire of heart, you do get an answer, though not always visible right away. Sometimes the answers come in odd ways too, so if we stay self-observant, well, it helps a lot. Check it out. Ultimately, though, we also need one another. No one is doing this alone. I don't know if I believe that, but I believed it when I wrote it. I mean, we are one another. How can you need what you have? But anyway, get the gist of what's meant here. We're not doing this alone. Can't be done. No such thing as alone anyway. We're all surrounded by a crowd of invisibles, light beings not normally seen. And actually, a lot of those light beings are us in our other incarnations, popping in to lend a hand. I mean, you're all beings anyway, but it goes kind of in layers and levels now, doesn't it? So, have you been perceiving little bits and evidences of the ones working with you? I know I have. Tell you what, I'll share what's the largest manifestation I've been seeing of late. It's really odd. It's always to my left, always. It's like the wall sort of lights up in a soft bluish or blue-green color. It stays lit for a bit, an otherworldly illumination, and then quickly fades out. I can't tell you how many times this has happened in the last month or two. Maybe 100, actually. It's not rare anymore. I've asked Ken, my healer friend, about it, and one or two others, as well as pulling out the pendulum for some deeper self-communication. It feels really good, nothing negative at all. So, though it doesn't appear as a being or a person or the like, what we all get is that it's positive. I'm taking it as a manifestation of light, perhaps of my team of invisibles, who knows? Not saying what it means, for I don't really know. I just get the sense that it's good. Now, I'm sure we've all had something or another showing up. For some of us in our dreams, if not when awake. If you're not noticing anything, then I'll suggest a bit more internal focus might help uncover it for you. Folks, I know I'm not alone in such things. Now, I wish blessings and only blessings upon all of you, each and every one. Yet the route to those blessings is so very much in your hands. You see, those blessings are already being delivered. That's a guarantee. For most, it's just a matter of seeing what's happening right now. When we're in mind all the time, it's natural not to perceive this stuff as it's not a mind thing, and it doesn't make sense to mind. It brings up too many questions mind can't answer. Mind would rather not see. Self-observation, my friends. It has so many blessings to offer. Heart vision is one of the things that comes of it. It's so wonderful when you start to be consciously taught from within. We all have a direct line to source there. Heck, we are source. Have you adopted that belief yet, or one like it? You could at least try it out, right? Just keep centering in your chest every moment you get, every time you think of it. Develop the habit. You'll be glad you did. Ultimately, everything rests on you, on me, on each of us individually. We must come into our own to the point where we finally take back responsibility for our own life. All of it. No blame here, no judgment. Rather, a spiritual maturity that's ripening in so many of us. We're falling off the tree. The blessings that flow from it are really intense. I see this all as just a part of, or a result of, taking our power back. Now, sure, we were schooled and trained to give it away to outer circumstances. Well, so what, right? That was then, this is not. This is now. Now here. Self, and now here in heart. Nothing else. It will get you through whatever comes up. Can you imagine the good feeling that comes from being completely immune to whatever your circumstances present? Can you imagine that power? Now, your contentment, your attitude, your everything comes from inside, not outside. You're just not vulnerable anymore. You're not subject to manipulation like we all used to be. Never again will you be a sleeple or a sheeple. Not possible. You took too much of your power back. Do you get the sense of this? Are you tuning into it? Are you ready for self-empowerment? Are you game? All it takes is grit, determination, and heart. Gotta have heart, of course. Call it earnestness, if you like. That's what Nisargadatta called it often enough. Call it being sincere. Find your own words. We can't be living to please others anymore. Not anymore. Now, sure, we can compromise in many ways and make allowances, but we don't compromise anymore on the important things. And my bet is that you'll find yourself giving in less and less on a lot of things. You'll be finding your internal strength, and it feels really great. And when you lose attachment to things, compromising on the little stuff is no big deal. Now, it can catch up to you and be a bit of a surprise, actually, this new interior strength. You may even wonder where it came from, but that doesn't matter. What matters is living true to your real self finding that, your heart, who you really are. So let's all keep reminding the self in ways great and small that we are divine. Let's keep claiming our own divine identity. It's who we really are. Now, at first, I know it sounds a bit nuts, and that's okay. It may continue to seem rather crazy, and that's okay too. Just adopt it as a new belief and go for it. Let it prove itself for you. Lean on it. Drop all the conflicting beliefs that come up, and they will. Remember, a sure way to get some weeding done in your garden of belief is to adopt a new one. And this is one of the most powerful. So be ready for the flack your mind will throw in your face, or try to. Know that it's coming and be ready to just look the other way and not engage. No need to even argue or discuss it with mind. No way to prove your point in a way mind will accept anyway, so why bother, right? This is part of being true to you, to the real you. And it's clearly taking your power back internally, shifting identity. Almost all of any fighting you do will be internal, my friends. The war is won on the inside, and it's largely been set up there. We've been set up to be self-defeating, self-deprecating, self-critical, blah, blah, blah. That's what much of the old programming is set up to do, to keep us in false humility. Well, once you can see through this, it's amazing how fast, as in instantly, it loses its power over you. Instead, you discover that it's just an internal sorting going on. And don't underestimate the importance of this. It is key. It's critical. It is your victory in the making. All of this discussion going on about the sorting out of the sheep and the goats, the wheat and the tares. Bet you thought that referred to external things, didn't you? I'm sure it does, but more than that, it's an internal sorting out going on. So let's cooperate with it. Being ready for this can be really helpful, hugely so. Once you know what's going on, things get so very much easier. Besides, this totally empowers you, since it's all going on inside of you. As we sort things out internally, what will follow is that the external world will follow suit, sorting itself out around you, too. Before long, more and more of us will realize that all change originates inside, not outside. How the world does business and everything will start to change. We won't be doing things like a war on drugs or on poverty and every such external effort. That's not how things work. Not if you want success, that is. All change starts within. Now, okay, I've gone on long enough. More words won't help here. What's required is action on our part. Nothing else will make things happen for you. It's all about choices, my friends, our use of free will. Time to start recognizing how you use your power of choice every day. We're constantly making choices that count. Each one does. Choices that are building our future in every now, here. We're creating that. We are making all of this happen. Now don't listen to mind over this. that is a sure dead end. You'll have to recognize that there's going to be a heavy dose of cognitive dissonance going forward, likely for a good while. You have to make peace with that. It pays to be ready for it. There will be times, like the ones I've been having lately, where you'll feel completely crappy. Just know that you can make it through these times. Heck, if nothing else, you can basically wait it out. Choose it as a time for some rest. Take it easy on yourself. Go sit on the lawn, read a book, walk the dog. Love the self. Be gentle with you. Source is teaching me, teaching you, literally by everything that's happening all around us. If you've been forced to back off and rest, well then do so. It's needed. Don't push yourself. We all tend to do too much self-pushing in the West, don't we? Let's look at that. Heart won't push that way. That makes it pretty easy to recognize as the work of mind, something to ignore. Together, let's all get good at ignoring mind. Ignoring a lot of our thoughts, my friends. It's time for that. Now, this doesn't mean to shove the mind aside and not use it anymore. Not at all. I'm not saying that. Of course, we need it to navigate in 3D. It's valuable and useful in so many ways. That doesn't make it a useful tool for the spiritual stuff. I hope you hear this, that I'm saying I am not totally dissing mind. To ignore thought has to do with your spiritual path, which isn't in the province of mind. That is, unless you're content to stay in 3D, in which case it could be. Bottom line, it all depends on you, on what you want, what choices you make. Only, let's all be making them more and more consciously. We're through being asleep at the wheel, trusting others to make good decisions for us, for the country, for society, for whatever. It's time to put the self, the higher self, back in charge. And that's what this is all about. Anything that's not clear, anything you question, please feel free to speak up. I'm not bothered by that at all, as long as you're not nasty about it, of course. That's no fun. I'll share again a favorite motto I live by. It's just as harmful to take offense as it is to give offense. Too many of us take offense when it wasn't intended by the other party. There was no offense intended at all. You might also enjoy taking this one out for a spin yourself. You might find yourself also adopting it as a new belief. Gosh, I tried to shut up more than a few paragraphs ago. Don't know what's going on here, but glad to be writing again. After that rush of so many journals starting back in early June, there haven't been so many recent ones, but then I guess that's not news to you. This is one of two, though, so that's nice. Another one from 8/3, which will likely go up before this one. And I'm sorry, I guess it's already up. I don't find it in my journal queue. Anyway, things are looking up. Who knows? Maybe I'm coming alive again. I'm surely ready. Heaven knows. Namaste.